Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toffee Blues, and welcome to the Everton RANT show live. I'm Callum, and I'm joined here today with James. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thanks, mate. Enjoying the week off Everton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's best part of my week so far, if I'm being honest. Not having to worry about that, especially after that Sunderland game. And speaking of it, get into things straight away. What were your initial reactions and thoughts of the Sunderland game as it happened?
Really disappointing, to be honest. To be fair, it was one of those. I wasn't fancying us going into it anyway. But the first half, I thought we were atrocious. Second half, I thought we had a bit of a better go of it. Got a bit of a dodgy penalty, but we scored it. And then I thought we had a good go of it in the extra time as well. But as soon as that final whistle went in extra time and we knew it was going to pens, I thought we might as well pack up now. And so it proved, because we didn't score a single one. I can't believe that. That's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? I might be cursed because I went into my dad's room to watch it. So I had it on in here, and then I went into my dad's room when he had it on. And I watched and I went, we're going to miss all of them, aren't we? Obviously, I'm nudging at it. And then the first one misses, Garner misses his. And I'm like, oh no, I've jinxed it, haven't I? Because it was so bad across the board. And it's just like, it was one of those games that where I'm watching it, I don't know if you do this sometimes, but when I'm watching Everton, sometimes I'll watch a game and we're playing so bad that I'll just find anything else to distract myself with. To the point where I was actively doing house chores that I barely ever do. I was bloody cleaning like random parts of my room that I'd never cleaned before, dusting stuff off and that, because it was that poor to watch that my brain was going, I'll do anything else rather than watch this.
Honestly, it is one of them where you feel. I think after that, I was like, I need to sort of take a step back. I haven't watched any games of football since. It's just really put me off it for a while. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Our next game's against Villa, isn't it?
Villa away, yeah,
on Sunday. But I mean, I'll probably grit my teeth and watch it. But until then, I feel like it's just kind of ruined my appetite for football the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's typical Everton, really. It seems to happen once every season. Like if I get the fixtures up here, where we just go on this big run of games where it's not just like losing, and so it's awful performances, and then even the good things end up in a negative. You've got the Brentford game where if I tell you, Beto and Barry have both scored, so we've won then. Yeah, no, we've conceded 4. And it feels like everything, the Wolves game, it feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And then, of course, it doesn't help when we get into the January and, there's all these needs. And it looks like the main one right now that the club are focusing on is striker. Beto and Barry both missed their penalties in the Sunderland game. Both have been underperforming. Ironically, somehow both of them have 3 goals in 24 games. Which is, I don't know, it must be a curse or something. But
shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you think on the striker thing? Because I'm willing to have a bit of a leash on Barry in terms of the performances, because he's just got and stuff like that. But Beto especially, I feel like is the focus here, especially with the En-Nesyri stuff, because we're not going to spend 30 mil on a striker in summer who is essentially was a project striker. Was it a smart idea spending 30 mil on a project striker? Probably not in hindsight. But do you think this is it for Beto now? Do you think the club just have to grit the teeth and accept the loss that's going to come in terms of losing money on what we bought him for?
Yeah, I think we will end up selling him. I remember this time last year, he was linked with a move to Torino for not much less than we paid for him. Which, and then he went on that run of form, scoring a lot of goals this time last year, and everyone's like, oh, he's actually all right, him. And then obviously this season's kind of proved it was just a bit of a flash in the pan. So yeah, I think if we can cash in, we should. The En-Nesyri, I think we could. I think he would bring something different to the team. I think he's a better goal scorer than either of those two. He's a bit deadlier in the box, but Yeah, I don't know about paying 20 million for him in the summer. If it's a loan with a buy option, I think that's not a bad move. If it's an obligation like the mail and roll type deal, then I think it's a silly move because we need to see what he can do. He's never played in the Prem before, so if he comes in and he does the business, then fantastic. But then we don't want to come in, play poorly, and then we've got to pay for him. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and at the end of the day, he's 28, I think 29 by the end of the season. You know, that does have to factor into when you pay, which don't get me wrong, I think 20 million euros is like 15, 16 million pounds. It's not, you know, game breaking money, especially if when you hope in the summer the Friedkins are going to be willing to spend, especially if we can, you know, if he comes in and scores the goals, like I said, there's things about this team where you can be cautiously optimistic. You've seen the good things, especially when the three behind the striker are all clicking and Garner's clicking. It's a few little changes and all of a sudden like top half isn't unrealistic. And then if top half isn't unrealistic, can you squeak something with the stupid amount of European places that go around? And do I expect that? No, I've said it all season. I think it'll be 11.
No, I don't think we'll get anywhere near that this season, but
I think it'll be 11 for 12 by the end of the season, which, don't get me wrong, I'm at the start of the season I wouldn't have been disappointed with, but I think, yeah, with En-Nesyri, the goal scoring record looks decent. I mentioned this on the news video I recorded earlier. That a lot of people are mentioning that there are patchy seasons between his big ones, but from what I've noticed, those seasons he just hasn't played that much, and his average goal is a goal every 2-3 games, probably say every 2.5 games. That's consistent throughout most of his career ever since he started scoring. And at the end of the day,
they're now strikers.
Yeah, exactly. I think the best part about Barry now is his link-up play, which is good. He links up well with, especially in the past few games before Ndai, when he was linking up with Ndai well. But at the end of the day, when you've got Ndai, Grealish and Dewsbury Hall, they can all do that stuff in that area of the pitch. I prefer someone who can just get in the box and score goals. Yeah, probably right now. And then maybe they could put him and Barry. It wouldn't shock me if they could play as a 2. It gives us a few more options. I just think with Beto especially, I just think it's time to bin it in now, because I say this all the time and I don't like, you know, I say it all the time, I don't like just dragging players, but I just don't think he offers anything besides running.
No. I think the fact with Barry is he offers the same, but you can give Barry a bit more grace because of his age. Beto's got like 4 or 5 years on Barry.
Yeah, and it's like Barry can play a 5-yard pass to his left. With Beto, it's like the one I always go to. It's not from this season. It might have been last season where Decore puts him through on goal. I forgot the game, but Decore plays one of the worst passes I've ever seen. It finds his feet, and it genuinely looks like a baby or a toddler's first time controlling a football. And it's like, what do we expect at that point? But yeah, with the strikers, I just think it is time to look at someone new. And if that means we sell Beto for probably 10 mil if we're lucky, get El-Nesyri in on loan, maybe someone else. It depends, of course, because with all that Nesyri stuff as well, it's been very weird in terms of this bid's been put in and then someone else comes out. No one's actually bid yet. All this, it's just typical Everton transfer window stuff, really. But I just
stuff.
Yeah. I just think at the end of the day, anything's probably better than Beto at this point, which feels mental to say. But I think they need a spark in terms of scoring goals now, because teams have started to figure out the way we play. You've seen Grealish and Ndai get double marked, Dewsbury Hall. They know they don't have to mark the strikers, and then, you know, with the Ndai stuff, moving on to the guy who's replaced him during AFCON, this Dibling issue that people are talking about, which he had a poor game against Sunderland, and there were a few things where, you know, some fans don't like the throwing his arms in the air. Some people are saying a lack of effort. I think in quite a few games he's been quite good. At the end of the day, I think you have to give some players grace. I think we do the same thing with Grealish and Ndai. Obviously, they're a bit more proven in terms of what he meant to do if you play a ball in. What game was it, you might be able to tell me, where he fizzes the ball in? It's Beto, isn't it?
I forgot. The Burnley game, yeah. And Beto slides in and misses it.
Yeah, and it's a perfect ball right into his feet. And then it's just all of a sudden misses. You know, what have your thoughts been on Dibling? Because it seems like some fans are turning in him already. We did spend a lot of money on him. I think he's up there with our most expensive transfer now.
I think it's like only Richarlison and Sigurdsson more than him.
Which, and then it's like, was it wrong to sign him and not get someone more experienced? Because
absolutely, in my opinion. No, it's hard because obviously he's such a young lad, but I'm really disappointed in him so far. I think like some people have made a good point about like what we expect from an Everton player, and I feel like you can give like experienced kids a lot of time as long as they're showing something. I feel like Everton fans expect players to be hardworking, and he seems a bit nonchalant.
Yeah, I think it's like there's a lot of similarities to Grealish, and it's like Grealish without there's not as much work ethic there. I don't think there's as much of a desire to prove himself. I think you can see the ability clear as day. It's hard to ignore that, but it's just like for a Moyes system anyway, you have to run back all the time. And again, I feel like he's had his moments, and I feel like it's is it a thing where all of a sudden, where if we have a striker who can kick the ball in the back of the net, are some of the fans going when he possibly has 2 or 3 assists, not as angry? But at the end of the day, I think it is the money at the end of the day, and I do believe that he has potential to be something. It's clear as day, but it's like
potential, absolutely.
It's just another thing of it's like, what is the logic in signing him? If 1, he's not going to get the chance, 2, he's second fiddle to Ndai, which I think we knew that was going to be the case anyway. And all of a sudden, what's happening when you split that, and all of a sudden in the summer, where would we be if 25 mil's gone on a right back and 25 mil's gone on another right winger to play back up?
Exactly. I think we didn't spend the money right in the summer at all. Again, like there's probably some other really good young wingers, maybe same age as him, maybe a little older, who we could have picked up for about 20 million, 25 million, who would have offered more, I think. Certainly would have offered more in terms of work ethic, I think. And like you say, spare a few funds to get us a fullback maybe, because we desperately need the fullbacks. And I think going back to the Youssef En-Nesyri link, I think we need fullbacks if we're going to play like that. I think that was what done us in with Calvert-Lewin when he was still here, that we didn't thrive on we didn't really play to his biggest strength, which is his ability to head the ball. And En-Nesyri's actually not too dissimilar to Calvert-Lewin, actually, in terms of the way he plays. So if we're going to bring him in, then we're going to need to give him service. I think a right back's got to be brought in this window if he's also brought in. The right back needs bringing in full stop, let's be honest. And then even come the summer, probably need a left back as well, because Mikalenko hasn't really pulled any trees up this season, let's be honest. We need numbers in a few positions. A lot of it, I'll be honest, we need to right the wrongs of last summer, because I think we've done so much wrong.
Yeah. I just think I don't even think it's Dibling's issue. It's just,
no.
There's so many positions we needed that could we have afforded to spend that much on someone? Don't get me wrong, in terms of next season, if we don't bring Grealish back and Dye moves to the left, Dibling starts, put some effort in, which at the end of the day, what is he, 19? Is it a thing where eventually it's just going to be a situation where it just comes with more experience playing football, more time under the system? Yeah, but it's just, I'll watch O'Brien, and O'Brien I really like, but the one I go to every time, it was early in the season, it was the West Ham game, where Nuno just went, both of you on him now, Diouf and Somerville. And they killed him because he's a big 6'6" centre-back who's not used to one-on-one marking, and now he's got 2 people going at him.
Yeah, I think when it's one-on-one, he actually deals with it quite well, but, he's he's not pacey, he's a big centre-back. You got 2 pacey wingers running at you, there's nothing down for you. Like, they played that really well against him, and, that's why we need a proper fullback in there. And I thought O'Brien's played quite well in the centre-back position when he's played there recently. I want to see more of that. And the only way we're going to see more of that is if we recruit a proper right back. So, that's over to the recruitment people to see if they can, obviously bring the striker in by all means. But I think the right back needs to be the priority.
Yeah, 100%. I think O'Brien's okay. He's a squad option in terms of right now, the full strength team. Next season, I think next season will finally be the time Tarkowski gets dropped and it's Branthwaite, O'Brien. But right now he's a squad option in terms of one of those useful rotational players where he can play two positions, but you don't want to be forcing him out to right back because at the end of the day, it ruins his development at centre back as well because he's still only 24, 25, so he's still nowhere near fully developed in terms of what he'll be as a player. So it's just strange and it's not going to help because at the end of the day, you look at the strikers we have now and I just don't think we cross the ball enough.
No, not at all. And we need better crosses. And obviously, Mikalenko's a bona fide left back, but he's not a good attacking left back.
No.
We need one who's going to put good service in the area. I'll be quite honest, obviously Aston Villa are doing very well, but Luca Dean's been more of a bench player. If there's a chance we could even bring him back next season or something like that. Like, I know he's getting on a bit now, but just, he's a proven crosser of the ball who can get service in the box.
Good set piece delivery as well.
Yeah, like that goes so far when you're a team like us who've got so many big players and good headers of the ball, and especially when we've got flaws in other areas, it helps paper over the cracks a little bit at least.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's with how important. The thing is as well with the way we play, it's clear fullbacks are important, but Absolutely. The fullbacks aren't good.
They're not good
enough. It's just like Mikalenko can put 15 crosses into the box, and I am certain 2 of them are going to be good out of 15.
Yeah,
that's it. And it's just like, at that point, what are you meant to do? It makes it so much easier for players, especially for like when Grealish is playing, because they just put 2 players on him and go, let Mikalenko cross. We're going to get the ball anyway. So it's just all of a sudden, you say him on the right with Ndai, all of a sudden, someone who can even, it doesn't even have to be, I'm not asking for David Beckham, I'm just asking for a decent cross of the ball.
I think this is the thing, can you imagine a Jack Grealish, what we could get out of Jack Grealish if he had a Leighton Baines or something overlapping him?
Oh yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
We'd have an amazing left flank there. Same with Ndai with a prime Coleman overlapping it, just make all the difference because it's a threat that it gives the opponents something else to think about, and then Ndai gets a bit more space, Grealish gets a bit more space, and everyone can get a little bit more out of one another.
Yeah, it's just I'm still so shocked we didn't in the summer.
It really annoys me that we didn't do that.
Because we were all saying it's the key, that and a winger were the key priority in the summer. We were saying it all summer.
Certainly.
And then, because at that point as well, with a striker, it was done so early, and we were like, at that point, we'd been tricked by Beto a little bit, like, oh, maybe you can score a few, enough to not
require Barry to be thrown in so early, maybe.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just, if we don't sign a right back this January, it's hindering our finishing position, and it gets us on to the Moyes part now. You have to really question Moyes' recruitment and the club going, yeah, Moyes, there you go, because it feels all over the place now in hindsight, and it's not, Moyes hasn't done a bad job. I think it's, I've got here 44 games, won 17, drawn 12, lost 15. He's not, but then you look at it, thinking back, how many of those wins are in that first half? The second half of last season, sorry.
No, probably a fair few, but also I think we've got to. I don't want to go too hard on David Moyes because I don't know how much rain he's been given on transfers. Enesiri suggest. I think that sounds like a David Moyes type signing to me, but David Moyes would never have signed off on Tyler Dibling for 40 million.
I don't think Barry either.
Maybe.
It's what I'm so confused about, because it feels like some of them are Moyes, some of them are. I don't know if we don't have a director of football, do we? But
we have whoever's on, which is too many cooks, if you ask me.
yeah, it just feels like I understand the signing of young players, but I feel like the pushing and the pulling, it's going to cause problems, and it gets to the point where especially now, I look at this January and even next summer, and I'm like, I am going in with the lowest possible expectations of what's going to happen, because it can only be better, but somehow knowing Everton, it'll still somehow end up being worse.
It'll make it worse, yeah.
But overall, with Moyes, you look at I think the signings we spoke about, in terms of the way the team's playing, do you think there's anything he needs to change in the second half of the season?
I think he needs to be more adventurous, but I think he needs the players to be able to do that. I think
the
rolling fullback again, like you say, it all goes back to that. The right back could change the whole picture for us.
Yeah, the subs absolutely kill me, and it's getting to the point now where I've watched Armstrong these last few games, and I did want to send him out, and I'm like, at this point, maybe it might just be better keeping him, because you know what, it looks like he actually has an impact on the game when he plays.
No, he does.
I thought he was one of the few standouts in the Sunderland game.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, and the way many who were decent in that game. And again, I thought he like you say, he does. He gets on the ball. He tries to move us forwards. I don't think we have enough people like that.
Yeah, and it's the positive part about young players, isn't it? Really, the lack of fear, the willingness to do something. But at the end of the day, as well, I think I don't think you get many 18-year-olds who are that composed. And we've been saying that since he first started getting little cameos. Do I think I'd probably prefer at the end of the day he gets another loan back to Preston? Yeah, because I'd rather him play as much football as possible, because I've said it quite a lot now. I think his future is clearly starting every game, and probably not that far away from that, to be honest with you. It wouldn't shock me at all if he's starting next season, to be honest, but it's one of those where,
get him that game time.
Yeah, he needs the game time, and then it's how thin the squad is that it's getting to the point now where you think and go, at the end, he's going to have an impact when he plays, because it should have been him, not for the future, but in terms of now. But he just doesn't seem to be able to adapt at all.
No, he's no. I think that again, that's a really, really stupid bit of recruitment from us. Was at first I thought, that's quite good business if we could, we pay for him next year and he's a good player, but he's not. It's even more annoying now knowing that we've still got to pay the money for him, and he's clearly not up to the job here.
It's just, I mean, it's not impossible for it to turn him around, but when it's like he has to have a really good second half for us to have any faith in terms of, because what is it? It's like 20 mil, bit less than that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 20 million euro, I think.
Yeah,
obligation to buy if we stay up, basically.
Yeah, we've paid it already, essentially. It's like
it was more just a fiddle so we could pay the money on next year's accounts instead of this year's, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And it's just, don't get me wrong. I watch him a few things about him, and I go, he could be good, but it's like he seems lost, and it's just, it's with the Moyes stuff as well. It's been a year now. What are you thinking in terms of his future? Because I feel like I've got to the point now where it's very much, if the right choice was there in the summer, I wouldn't be against them swapping. But it's just like, for me, it has to be the right choice, like a no doubter.
Yeah, I personally am reluctant to get rid of him in the summer. I'd let him see out the contract.
Yeah, another season after this, isn't it?
It's one more year after this, and I'd give him time, personally. I think he's proven at other clubs that he can improve them given a bit of time. Even at West Ham were, even worse run than we were, and he managed to turn them around.
I think we're going from talking about being in a relegation race every season besides the points deduction season, because we would have finished, I think, 11th or something without the deduction. So, but we've gone from constantly, for 4 years?
4 years on the spin, basically. We're down there.
And to now going, we could get top half, and it's not the most unrealistic scenario. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's like, I also wouldn't have, my hands on my head shocked if we finish 9th.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think David Moyes has done okay. Not amazing. He's done okay. But I think the performances are more annoying than the results.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard to watch and it's frustrating to watch. And I think what's upsetting a lot of our fans, me included, I think, like I even said at the start of the season, same as you, I predicted we finish 11th this season. But I think what's upsetting fans is that you've got, like, the league is so wide open this season. And that sort of 5th or 6th place looks like it could be anyone's. And I think fans are starting to sense it could be have been an opportunity missed. If we'd have recruited a little bit better in the summer, we could have finished quite high up the table, because there's a lot of, like, strong sides who are misfiring. The likes of Spurs and Newcastle, even Man United to an extent, Chelsea, they're all been a bit hit and miss. And a decent run of form could sort of capitalise on that, and we've just sort of let it slip through our grasp a bit. I think that's what's upsetting fans. If it was panning out the same as sort of last season, and, like, this sort of points tally probably would have had us about, a good way off the top 4, it's certainly.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think fans would have been too bothered. I think it's more the fact that it feels like there's a place in Europe there for the taking this season, and we're wasting the chance. I think that's what's grating on people a little bit. By and large, I don't think we've done terribly, but the recruitment should have been better, and we could have been up there.
Yeah, it's just even being a bit more proactive in games, I feel like, sometimes as well. And I understand the bench isn't amazing, but at the end of the day, you deal with the cards you work with the cards you dealt, and it's like, is it a thing where, if Dibling's given a chance a little earlier on in the season for 15, 20-minute cameos, that we're looking at him now that he's had not loads of time, but he's had considerably more minutes, and we're going, oh, he's fit. Because, look at him at Southampton last season. He was good for Southampton because he was playing constantly. And don't get me wrong, he shouldn't be starting, because Ndiaye is one of the best players outside the big 6 teams.
He is, absolutely. Yeah. I think he's one of the best players I've seen at Everton for quite some time.
Yeah, so it's not Dibling's fault that he's just that Ndiaye's mint, but it's like, you look at certain decisions and it's like, I do want to clarify that I don't want Moyes sacked, because I think that'd be silly. That'd be absolutely silly. But it's like, I'm also not against if there's a manager in the summer that it's just, oh wow, we can get him. Then I wouldn't be against it. But I think I'm in the same boat as you in terms of, unless there is this very unrealistic scenario, I'd rather just keep him, because at the end of the day, I'll happily take 2 11th place finishes before some upwards progress compared to what's been the past few seasons, because there's good moments. There's a lot more good play than there was under Dyche, and even managers like Lampard who wanted to attack a bit more. I just think it's a matter of getting the right players in, and I think they're just Moyes himself and the board just need to be a bit more ambitious, because, like you said, it is wide open. One good run of form like we had under Moyes last second half of the season, all of a sudden we might be 6th, 7th, 4th. I think genuinely all it takes is one good run of form right now, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's there for the team. I think that's why fans are getting a bit agitated, because they think if this club really pulled its socks up, we could make a push for Europe now, even if it wasn't what the plan was at the start of the season. But I think it's a bridge too far right now. Even if we get a couple of decent signings in this window, it will probably be a tough ask now. But
yeah, it'd have to be like a last season run of form where we're going unbeaten for 89 games now, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think Conference League is possible, but Europa League above.
Definitely not, no.
No, and don't get me wrong,
Definitely
I'd happily take a Conference League because
Oh, yeah.
I think even what you've got to look at is it's not an easy ticket, but I think it's probably an easier ticket than finishing 6th in the league to get into the Europa League.
Yeah, I would say so, but also I think why fans are really agitated now. I think the fans would probably have suck up finishing even a bit lower in the league, 13th, 14th, if we'd have had a better go at the cups.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's where the real aggravation is with the fan base now, is that we've gone out of both cups really early on against teams that are definitely beatable.
We beat
Mansfield.
But so the second earliest stage and the earliest stage we could have gone out on. So it's just like you mentioned as well. The performances are so lackluster. Like, I didn't watch the Wolves game, but I could tell by the reaction it were bad, and then seeing highlights. In that Sunderland game, it was just, like I mentioned, it was getting to the point where I was doing anything to avoid watching the game.
Yep. It's just I think that's the real frustration, is obviously I think the fans are willing to be patient with a project and sort of rebuilding the club back up, but obviously that monkey on our back's always going to be this long wait for silverware, and I think when you've got 2 cups and that's all we're in, you've got to have a proper go at that. Even if it means a couple of places lower in the league. Yeah,
when they're the most winnable they've ever been right now, I'd say as well.
Yeah.
Bloody Newcastle have got one, Palace have got one. A 6th division side have just beat the whole.
Beat the ones who won it.
Yes, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then we've gone out in terms. It's just, I think it's like you said, it's the way as well. It's you're missing 3 penalties is just, and it's like the first 2 are bad, but that Beto one, I think that one I actually just looked and went, and that's the one where I was like, I could put my life on the line. I could take a better penalty than that.
Yeah. I think it is. It's, for me, it's the lack of ambition in the Wolves and the Sunderland games. Like, it felt like there was no desire to go out and win. I think with the Sunderland game, you can give a bit more grace because of how thin the squad is.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Like I've got it up here.
We weren't in that situation in September, October when we came up against Wolves.
Yeah,
and we changed the team massively. Got dominated by a poor Wolves side, a very poor Wolves side, as the season's proven. And we've gone out. And then we're down to just the 1 cup, which we've now gone out of course. But it puts a lot of pressure on that game. And it was pressure that we were never really going to be able to stand up to with the lack of options we had. Yeah,
I think what makes the Sunderland game even more annoying as well is it was this much thinned squad. But we had a chance, and I think that's the most annoying. We took a team who in Sunderland who are good. They're in a European
race. Very hard to beat.
Yeah, they're in a European race. They've got loads of. They have a few players who know what it's like to win on the pitch. They've got the bloke who just went invincible in Germany. They've got a lad who's played for PSG. I think he was in those Leverkusen teams as well. That Mukiel. So it's like. But then I think it shows, doesn't it? Like,
I think that's what makes me wonder. Like, why didn't we look at players like that?
Like a Xhaka, and
if they were a realistic option for Sunderland, why weren't they a realistic option for us?
I'm guessing. One, we didn't look, and then I'm guessing Xhaka's wages are probably mental.
Yeah, they probably will be. Yeah,
and it's like, don't get me wrong. I probably wouldn't have wanted Xhaka for mental wages, but you just look at even the other players they've signed. They're smart, and it's like there's a few of them where I've looked and gone, why? Do you not? It's mental to me that you look at some other clubs, even clubs who are like, I had Sunderland, a few that are known for like bad transfers, and you see them kind of running circles around us. The one that I find really funny is it Chukwueze from Fulham?
Yeah,
we've been linked with him for years. Goes to Fulham, and I'm pretty sure he's doing really well. Let me get it up here, but He's doing. I'm sure he's. 2 goals, 4 assists in 9 games. He's only started 3 games.
That's pretty impressive, actually. I haven't really heard much about him, to be honest, but that is quite good.
I do. Yeah, I think that is skewed a bit because I feel like he's coming off the bench and he's like, I feel like all of them he's getting like what he's doing. He's getting 2 goals, a goal and assist, but I think most of them are off the bench. It's an impact player.
But we don't have any impact players of our own, that's for sure.
No, exactly. I don't think there is a single impact player in terms of someone who's come off the bench. Like I'm looking here, Roll, no. McNeil, definitely no. Dibling, no. Beto, definitely no. When our biggest impact player right now is probably the 18-year-old academy kid. It really says something. It's just, moving on before, because we could probably rant about that to whoever. Well, saying that, what we're about to talk about next, I could rant about forever. And it's thoughts on Nathan Patterson. What do we do with him?
Get rid of him?
Yeah, I think it's just such an easy question, isn't it? Apparently, there's interest abroad in Italy and from Sevilla. Sevilla were interested in a loan last summer. And I think last summer we were trying to do something with a swap, weren't we? For their fullback. I forgot what he's called. Oh, what's it their right back called?
Like Joaquin something, wasn't it?
Yeah, we wanted to swap for him. And I don't know if he's still there, but if that option's still available. Because it's like, I don't get, are they trying to the swap or were we trying to swap with a loan? Because it's like, surely if they want him and we want their fullback, you think logically we'd go, so you can have Patterson and some money then and we'll take him off you.
Yeah, because or else they're desperate to get rid of this fullback that they're replacing with Patterson.
I don't think he can be worse than Patterson. I don't think it's humanly possible to be a worse fullback at a Premier League level anyway. Well, he's not Premier League level. He's probably mid-table Championship level if he's lucky. But
yeah,
it's just he has to go now. It's a failed experiment. It was a bit mental at the time paying what we paid, what was it, like 15, 20 mil for someone who'd
16 million, I think it was,
paid less than 40, played less than 50 games or something. It's just
it's nowhere near good enough. I mean, we could go on all day about the bad recruitment decisions we've made as a club.
The squad's filled with them still somehow, aren't they? There's still some of them have still somehow managed to linger around after all this time. And I feel like if Patterson goes, that's probably the last of them. Beto and Patterson. Because how much did we pay for Mikalenko actually? Because we might have paid quite a bit actually, but it's like I feel like we've managed to get most of the complete deadwood out. Yeah, for example, I still think Mikalenko's a Premier League level footballer. I think we can do better, but I could easily see him playing for a team that's finishing 15th, 16th, like we were.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Beto, I don't think's even that level. Thinking about it, I think there's teams who are finishing 15th, 16th have got better finishes than him.
Yeah, but I think Beto has a case for being the worst starting striker in the league because I think you could swap him and bloody Barry around, and either of them could be. It all depends on how David Moyes feels that morning, I think.
Yeah, I mean, David Moyes is like, I think that's almost the one thing that David Moyes had argued annoyed me with this season is the constant swapping of Beto and Barry. It's like, we know the boat crap. I'm
convinced he's flipping a coin before the game.
That's what I mean. If that's exactly what it feels like.
I feel it feels like there's no logic behind it as well. Because even when he was doing it, and I was doing like the starting 11 things before the game, I'd go, logically Beto works better for this game, and Barry would start. Logically Barry works better for this game, Beto would start, and I'm just like, you can't. It feels like there is just no logic behind it, and I've been keeping an eye on the comments here, and it's the one that's just come through is should have kept DCL, and in hindsight probably, but it's like also the wages you were asking for were silly. He's not getting that at Leeds, and at the end of the day, I think if we would have went back to him and went, do you want to come back? I think he just went to Leeds anyway. And I mean, fair play to him. I think he's just won Player of the Month, hasn't he?
Has he?
I think so, yeah.
But I think the thing with Calvert-Lewin is like if you give him the right service, like he's not a great finisher, but he's a good like aerial threat. And if you put crosses in like they do, you'll get goals.
He'd be in the exact same scenario as the other two right now if he stayed.
Yeah, and the thing is, he exactly. And I think the same, like I say, this end of the series probably a better finisher than the two we've got already. But even he'll only get a few more than they will without the right service. We need fullbacks, and I'm even happy to suck up Barry and Beto as the striking options if it means we bring the fullback in.
Oh yeah,
I think even them, as poor as they are, might get a few goals if you start providing proper service.
I mean, Barry's shown if he gets service, he can score. It's been don't get me wrong. There's the Sunderland game, but I can't. There's not really many other.
There's no service there either.
No, there's obviously that header, but besides that, has he missed any sitters?
Probably the odd few, but like the thing is, like strikers do that, but like other strikers miss more sitters because they actually get on the end of crosses into the box from the decent fullbacks they've got. Like we need to bring decent fullbacks in.
I know it's a topic of thing for a lot of Everton fans especially on Twitter anyway, but I think Barry's good enough. I think it's just a thing of, do I think he's going to be a 20-goal a season striker? No, but I think a lot of people realise that 20-goal a season strikers, there's not as many as there was back then. Now it's you want a 15-goal striker. Could I see Barry getting 15? Not this season, not a chance. But in the future, I think he's got all the tools for it. It's just needs to brush up on his finishing, which is not like it's an impossible task. We've seen strikers who struggle finishing suddenly. Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, like you say, he's doing all right now, but he was struggling to get goals in our team. But funnily enough, we were speaking earlier about Luca Dean. When Luca Dean was still playing for us, he was getting plenty of goals. Yeah,
because he's ridiculous. And even Barry, it's like, I think I saw something the other day was that everyone was like, Barry can't score a header or something. And I was like, when's he had the chance?
We don't get that many crosses into the box. And I mean,
it's corners. And it's like, it's corners. And then, shocking fact, when the big 6'5" bloke who wins 90% of his headers is in the box on a corner, they're going to put two men on him. So it is a thing where, all of a decent Digne, does Barry have 5 or 6 goals this season now? And if he has 5 or 6, maybe even more, there's not. I mean, he has 3 now, but 3. All of a sudden, people are saying, "Oh, he's all right." Yeah, mate. It's just a simple of. I think it is that Sunderland game, the first one, where he misses that really bad chance. I think a lot of people are still using that because he's not getting.
He didn't play badly in that game, though.
I don't think he did either. It's just that miss. It's just. I think most of the time he plays all right.
I mean, given the circumstances, yeah.
Yeah, I like him, and it's Beto I'd want rid of for someone else. But that for me, that'd be a luxury option. We actually managed to wipe our hands and go, oh, we've managed to get our business done. Oh, by the way, we have room for one more. Do you want a striker? It'd be something like that. But at the end of the day, I'd just much rather us get. I'd even take another midfielder at this point, to be honest, because I'm not sure on role. Even that over a striker. I think Tim's really changed my opinion on him. Tim, I've done a complete 180 on. Come to no chance he's not good enough to now. I think he's easily good enough to be a squad player.
Yeah, I think he's good enough to be coming off the bench. I think he certainly offers more than some others. I don't think he's quite as good as Armstrong, but he's still he offers something.
Yeah, I think he works hard as well, and
he's a good ball player as well.
To be fair to him, he can slide. I'll give him that for credit. I don't think I've seen him miss a slide tackle yet. It's mental. It's just I just feel like there's so many areas of improvement. And speaking of the strikers, I've almost forgot to mention this because it isn't on the list. We've just been linked like an hour ago with Callum Wilson, and I've seen a few of the comments and I've ignored them until this point. saying that they'd like Callum Wilson. I think anyone who wants Callum Wilson is mental. Is absolutely. I don't understand how anyone on this planet can think Callum Wilson is better for us now than what we have. When one, he's so injury prone to the point where he's on a pay to play contract. And don't get me wrong, he's got 4 goals and 1 assist in his 17 games. But it's like, I think one of those is getting 2 in one, and it's just, we complain about injury and stuff and sign it. If we sign Callum Wilson, and then when with our medical team, his leg just explodes 2 weeks into the thing, the same fans are then going to be like, terrible business. What's Moyes doing and stuff like that? And it's just, don't get me wrong. If we signed him and there was a guarantee that he's going to play, I'd probably take him, but he's not. He's so injury prone, and do you know what the thing is for me as well? It's like a lot of people who are like this. It's like, oh well, he has more goals than Beto and Barry, but and I feel like I might be picking on someone here, and I'm not meaning to do it. It's just because you're at the front of the comments. He has 1 more goal. It's like if Barry had 1 more goal, you'd still be calling him crap.
Oh yeah, no, the Callum Wilson on no planet is the answer. I think the only thing that's making him a bit intriguing is because he's a free transfer. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Being free, no one would touch him in a barge pole, let's be honest.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, on a free, he's better than Beto. I will say that. He's probably better than Beto in terms of just finishing. He's a good finisher.
I mean, I'd take it if we could move Beto on for a few quid and sign him for free, then that's probably okay business.
Yeah, same person here who he's put 6-month deal on a pay-as-you-play, better than Beto, 100%. I agree with that, without a doubt. And then, honestly, even with the Nesri's probably miles better than Callum Wilson, but I'd rather the money be available for a right back, and it is if we sign Wilson on that. But yeah, I just think I think it's going to happen. I just think it is going to happen. It's written in the stars, it was that Moyes would want him. So I think it is going to happen. But before we end up here, we're just going to go into this quickly. Just before we end, what are your thoughts on the Villa game before we go into it?
I think the less said, the better, to be honest with you. I'm actually dreading it, to be honest.
I think we're going to get battered. Because
it could be a cricket score, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think
the nature of the performance.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's going to be extra worse as well because my mate's a Villa fan and I've been telling him I don't think Morgan Rogers is as good as people are making out.
I'm making bits recently, but I think for me, I think it's that. I was saying when we beat Nottingham Forest just before this bad run, I said we got lucky there. A good team will punish us. Bad teams have been punishing us. So what's a good team going to do?
Yeah, and I think it makes it even worse because it's like, congratulations, Senegal. I wanted you to go out in the group stage. I'm going to be brutally honest. I wanted Senegal out in the group stages. I'm sorry. It's like, if they win it, I'll be buzzing. It was either win it or go out in the group stages. It was
not going to lose the final, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, and then knowing our luck, someone's going to ninja kick and die at half time or something.
Who are they in the final with?
If someone could put this in the chat, might be a bit quicker than me.
It's whoever wins this one. It's between Nigeria and Morocco.
Yeah, it's 0-0 Nigeria and Morocco right now.
There you go. And the series going to scorpion kick him.
And the series not even starting. And the series not even starting for Morocco.
Oh, that's where we're at, is it?
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, instead they're starting a 32-year-old guy from Olympiacos who, never mind that. He's got 14 goals in 14 games. I'll take it back, mate.
Let's sign him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be scouting in Nesri, so it would be the most Everton thing ever to just go, you'll do. And it's just, I just feel like the Villa game, there's not much thoughts to give on it, to be honest, because I think we're going to get hammered. I would not be shocked if we lose 4 or 5-0. at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's going to be an absolute cricket score.
Yeah, it's genuinely, it sounds weird. It's either going to be 4-5-0 to them, or we're going to somehow beat them 2-0. There's no draw. There's no. It's how weird this team is. I don't think there's any in between. It's either they pump us or we somehow beat them. There's no draw.
The only team who's beaten these recently is Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, let me tell you, they're on a stupid. Since that really bad start to the season, they're on a ridiculous run. Yeah, Arsenal beat them 4-1, but besides that,
they haven't lost for a while.
The last game they lost was in. I didn't mean to click that. Was Liverpool on the 1st of November.
Wow.
And a loss to Go Ahead Eagles. But yeah, besides that, since that run at the start of the season, they've lost 2 Premier League games. So it's just, I think like a lot of people don't realise that Aston Villa are realistically in a title race.
Yeah,
they are going to kill us.
I've stuck a $5 on it.
I don't blame you, honestly. They are going to kill us. And it's just because at the end of the day, we're fighting for with a crocked squad. The best hope we have is Grealish realises or is somehow some switch clicks in his head. Being at Villa Park, that's the best chance we have.
You know, he'll be back on his own stomping ground. He'll go on the ale the night before.
Honestly, with Grealish, I think that'd make him play better.
Maybe, yeah.
It's like a superpower thing of like footballers from the 90s. If he has a pint the day before, he turns into Superman on the pitch. But it's just... Yeah. But anyways, that is going to be all for this video. Thank you for coming on, James.
No probs.
If you did enjoy this live, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias on the fancy little thing below us. And we will see you for the next video and our live stream that either of us are on. Goodbye, everyone.